Hey, eCom Masters, welcome to the show. My name is Mike Weiss, Chief Community Officer at Dropified, and as a thank you for tuning in to the e-commerce mastery show, we've put together a special podcast-only e-commerce training just for you. Now, in it, you're going to learn the ins and outs of how to set up your own brand of products where you can literally put your own labels, brands, logos, and messaging over top of top-selling, in-demand, high-quality, high-profit products that are exclusive to supplements, CBD, skincare, and pet products. And here's the key: no minimum order quantities, no upfront inventory costs. And I'm going to show you how to do this in literally minutes. Now, guys, we refined these principles over the course of 5 years with working with over 100,000 of our own e-compreneur customers just like you. So to get immediate 100% free access, all you got to do is go to dropified.com/podcast-special, or you can just click the link below and you're going to learn exactly how we do this in just minutes. Thank you so much for being part of the Dropified family and enjoy the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of e-commerce mastery. Today, we're talking about how to sell more with messenger marketing, and we get to talk to the master, the guru, Nick Romaya, head of partnerships at Recart. How you doing today, Nick?
Great, Ben. Thanks for the lovely intro. Excited to show you guys a little bit more about messenger marketing.
Right on. So, for those listening, for you lovely people in the audience, I want to give you a breakdown of what to expect in this episode. So first, I want to talk about Nick's story, and we're going to dive into how, Nick, you got to Recart, how you got to be head of partnerships, and why you are the man and why we should be listening to you when it comes to messenger marketing. Then we're going to do a little bit of an intro to Messenger and to Recart itself, so we have some context. Then we're going to jump into the foundational building blocks of selling more with messenger marketing, including list building and how to actually execute on selling more with messenger marketing. And then at the very end, so stick with us till the very end, we have a template that we're going to talk through with you of the easiest thing to do to get started and the button that you can press immediately to gain the most leverage with messenger marketing. Sound good, Nick?
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, right on. So let's start with your story.
Yes. And again, thank you everybody for tuning in. Really excited to present a little bit background on me. Before I got to Messenger, which is in the e-commerce space, messenger marketing and e-commerce space, I've been using Messenger ever since I've had a Facebook account, but at least for the e-commerce space, you got to take a step back and then see how I got into e-commerce in the first place. So I don't know if anybody remembers Yu-Gi-Oh cards back in the day, but I used to be quite the aficionado of that, to the point where I started selling on eBay because I had amassed a pretty good collection, and then eventually that transformed to a YouTube channel. And then eventually that transformed to my own website, YugiOhInc.com. It's not live anymore. It was on BigCommerce, and then that was kind of my first journey into kind of just like the getting my feet wet with e-commerce. Ended up selling the site, and then positioning my college admissions essay around it. And I was thankful enough to go to NYU with actually a half ride for a scholarship for entrepreneurship for the website I had made. So I think that was a good sign of things to come, saying, hey, if I could do this at a young age, why not invest more time into e-commerce while I'm in college and after college. So throughout college, I did projects, started a few brands myself, did some of the kind of general products and slapped a logo on it. Those approaches, I've done those things, even to patented works where they're completely unique products, and I've sold those. And then eventually my first job out of college, to be honest, those products didn't go anywhere, but you gotta learn. And then my first job out of college was at a Shopify Plus store called breezy.com. It is the quote unquote Amazon for 21 and up products. 21 and up being nicotine and CBD mostly, none of the booze or I guess adult things, for lack of a better term. I was there for 3.5 years. That was a full immersion into Shopify, e-commerce, product building, marketing, managing an assortment of apps on the back end, to attending conferences and just talking about, anything e-commerce. And then finally, after 3.5 years there, I figured it was time to move on. I wanted some more experience, and also, if you guys were keeping up with like the vape CBD news necessarily, the industry wasn't doing that well. You couldn't sell or send things to certain states as you could have back in like 2016 or 17. So we're like losing states like Texas, which is huge, and New York. So I figured it was a good time to leave anyways. Fast forward to today, a little bit, I got into Messenger after some extensive looking around, and I thought this was just an awesome avenue for my next step. If I'm already done the eCom brand side, why not focus on the SaaS side so I can further envelop my e-commerce skills? So Messenger was completely new to me. When I was seeing the job posting, I had to do a lot of research on it. So I'm here to take that research away from you guys and show you a little bit about it. But it is a very awesome and exciting medium to message consumers on that I think is very underlooked. But I think we're going to get a lot of eyeballs come November when the closed beta of in the Instagram direct message messenger combination is going to happen. So that's going to be huge because Instagram is, obviously that's where a lot of consumers are these days. And yeah, that's more or less my journey from start to finish in e-commerce.
That's amazing. So it seems like you really did build your experience from the ground up of building stores, selling products, coming at e-commerce from a bunch of different angles. And it seems like what you're really focusing on and learning about and executing on at a really high level now is Messenger, which is just awesome. Because to me, it seems like you have a lot of context around or within the entire ecosystem of e-commerce itself.
Yes, exactly. So when I was looking for opportunities, I saw a bunch of obviously postings for these SaaS companies. There's a million apps just on Shopify alone. I mean, if you consider all the big commerce Magento plugins, then you're just that you can get lost pretty easily. And looking around, I really thought this was an untapped opportunity, and that's what really led me here. So I would really love to show everybody here a little bit about Messenger, because I really think it can transform your business, your day-to-day sales as well as generating some awesome subscriptions for email execution and Messenger execution.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So let's hop into what Messenger actually is. And I think that's a perfect segue to then talk about what Recart is as well.
Yep. Yeah, perfect. So the first way to kind of look at Messenger is to compare it to the other two owned channels. That is SMS and email. I guess there's a fourth owned channel being your app. If you have an app, you can send push notifications to your consumers, but that's way less popular than the three I mentioned. To think about Messenger, it's a 90% open rate email. That's kind of like the easiest way to say it. Just if I had one sentence to say it, that's what it is. How can we get these quote unquote emails out at 90% open rates? There's multiple ways, but first you got to take a step back and just look at what it is positioned to the other owned channels. So if you look at...
Can I actually just jump in for 1 second, just to really hit home that point? 90% open rate means out of every 10 people that you send a message to, 9 of them are going to open that message, as opposed to email, which is more of,
yeah, it's like 12, 25 max. I've seen some and that's really good, right? And I think a large part of that is just because everybody has email. It's the backbone of any marketing strategy. And I do want to say I'm not bashing email or SMS. I think everyone should use all three. At the end of the day, if you have a brand, what's your main goal? You want to get it sold as much as possible. To get it sold as much as possible, you need as many eyeballs as possible. Constantly pushing that brand in people's faces. That's why Coke keeps advertising, or McDonald's. We all know it, but they keep reminding us that we're there. So if we can keep reminding people in as many different mediums as possible, that helps our brand. The only slight downside is attribution, but if I go to Upper West Side, I'm in Financial District in New York City right now. I take the subway to get there and then the bus. What took me there? Was it the subway or the bus, or was it both? Let's try to add as many of these routes to your consumer where their endpoint is obviously that purchase. And the more routes, the better. So email, if you look at email, awesome experience, great experience. It's very customizable, but the open rates are very low, 12 to 25%, like we were just talking about. SMS on the other side of, I guess, this graph where the y-axis is experience and the x-axis is open rates. SMS is at the bottom right. I deem the experience a little poor because it's a 5-digit code texting you, and you either buy or unsubscribe. The only way you can reply back is stop. Still good though, because the open rates are 90%. And then enter Messenger. Top right of the graph, of course, 90% open rates, but the experience is as good, if not better, than email. You're looking at automatic connection to your social media channels. I can just click the profile and then go there. And at any point I can type in a question and ask for customer service, and boom, I'm right there connected to my customer service. And if you have things like Gorgeous, which is customer service plugin for Shopify, that'll automatically open up a ticket there as well. So that's just the way to think about Messenger. And I'd love to hop into now Recart, which is a Messenger platform.
Yeah, totally. I actually want to play devil's advocate for just
Okay.
1 second, because
Bring it.
I want to make sure we address any sorts of concerns or questions that people have while or before they're having them, right? So Messenger is, in essence, a channel that is owned by Facebook. We're talking about Facebook Messenger for the most part.
Correct.
And so that being the case, Facebook does own that, and Facebook will also have the power to then come in between you and your Messenger subscribers. So it seems like you're renting land. You're not owning it like an email. You're just renting it. And again, please correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like because it is this rented land, there is a little bit higher risk of investing the time and energy into building a Messenger list, a subscriber list. So can you talk about this issue and whether or not it still makes sense to pursue this medium, even though you don't necessarily own it?
Yeah. And again, I love that question. I really do, because I think that's an excellent distinction, and it's something that everyone kind of has at the top of their mind. When I think of Messenger, it's tough to kind of like think like, okay, this is my own channel. But as soon as a consumer sends some sort of message to your brand via Facebook Messenger, that is an opt-in. So that Facebook PSID, which is associated with the customer, has now just been thrown into this list in the back of your Recart account, for example. This list will keep generating as more and more people interact. What does it mean for an interaction? Like, what does a Messenger sub mean? You're right, we don't own the channel, but we can leverage it in a multitude of ways. Well, one of the main things that Facebook allows you to do is, within a 24-hour period of someone reaching out to you, you can message them quote unquote freely. I say quote unquote because don't overdo the free messages within a 24-hour period. You don't want to send 8 messages to a customer that just subscribed to your Messenger list off the bat. That is a horrible idea. I recommend 2 max. 1, sure, that's fine, but if you can send 2, we recommend that. So if you think of just a normal Instagram ad, for example, if I just click that and then it opens up some kind of web page with an Instagram and then I leave, that's kind of my normal Instagram ad experience. Add Messenger to that. That Instagram ad will turn into a Messenger conversation, which prompts me, for example, to ask for, here's your 10% discount code, enter your email to get that code, and then we'll redirect them. That process, at least they have subbed on the way. Even if I had no intention of buying, at least I've somehow subbed throughout the Instagram ad. And within 24 hours, let's say 3 hours later, if add item to cart is false, or 21 hours later, same issue, we can send them those messages. So Facebook does limit you in that 24-hour period for those immediate Messenger subs, but the real value comes from the sponsored messages, which is essentially the email of Messenger. So Facebook allows you to coordinate messages to these subs at any given time, well outside the 24-hour period. It's your own list. It shows up as sponsored, and of course, I can say I don't want to receive messages from this business anymore at the top right. That's an easy opt out, but that sponsored message comes in, and it's awesome because only you as a consumer can receive one sponsored message a day. So imagine seeing, on Black Friday, if you look at your email inbox, you probably have 100 emails from all the different companies you're subscribed to. If you go on Black Friday on your Messenger and you've subscribed to some brand, you will notice you only have one sponsored message that day. To whoever lucky brand it is who's caught your attention, good for them. But you can see how sponsored messages can really be awesome, even though they show up as sponsored, and even though Facebook restricts you that 24-hour window with the initial onset of the sub. Those are the, I guess, pitfalls of it being on Facebook, as you mentioned, it not being fully owned. But I don't like to say the word pitfalls, even though I just said it and it makes no sense, because it's pretty, there's like some awesome blessings there. One, mostly no one uses Messenger really from the brand side. So if you do adopt these technologies, you're more or less first movers, and consumers that interact with you, you'll be most likely giving them their one sponsored message on Black Friday. It's pretty awesome in that sense. It's funny because I said no one uses Messenger on the brands, and this is a good segue into Recart. We have amassed 145,000 downloads on Shopify. We're the #1 paid for Shopify app. But there's a lot more than 145K e-commerce stores online. I mean, there's millions. And I guarantee you all of those millions have email, and a lot are having SMS right now. So just to kind of like put it in perspective, when I was said first mover, if you were to adopt this technology, it's definitely something that grabs the attention of your consumers because they're foreign to the experience or curious about it. And B, you can completely own your consumer with sponsored messages for the days that you send them, which obviously will give you full-blown attention if that's the only thing that you're getting that day.
That was a really good answer to that question. And I'd also like to perhaps add an additional perspective of, if you're in e-commerce, chances are you're using either Google or something like YouTube or Facebook, or you're using Pixels or Instagram or Pinterest. You're using those platforms already to market. So you're already investing time and energy and money into that. Even if you're doing SEO, you're still investing time into building something that's attractive for Google to send you traffic. So it seems like Messenger is the next evolution of using social for e-commerce, and it's something that actually gives you a lot more control over the experience for the customer, and it gives you something that you can use. It gives you a lever that you can pull that very, very few others, proportionally to the total number of e-commerce store owners, very few others are actually pulling right now, which gives you
Yeah.
much greater leverage and much more effective and better results than almost anything else at the moment. So to me, it's like, this is the next wave and it's coming. So get onto it now, be an early adopter, and get as much out of it as you possibly can before everybody else figures it out.
Yep, exactly. And you'll notice in November when the Instagram Messenger and DMs merge, and personally you'll notice that too. You'll see that the apps will combine. So that's interesting. But obviously, from a consumer perspective, it's just gold. I really think a lot more eyeballs will come this way. So definitely get ahead of the schedule. Focus, start building out your list throughout these next few months so you could cash in on Black Friday. I mean, that is just an awesome weekend. And the sponsored messages aren't limited. They're limited by day, but that's it. If you want to send one on Black Friday, the Saturday after, the Sunday after, and then Monday, you could do that. It's your own channel until they press, I don't want to receive messages from this business anymore. But yeah, right with you there.
Hi there, eCom Masters. Mike Weiss here again with a friendly reminder that you've unlocked access to our exclusive podcast-only training on how to create your own supplement, CBD, pet, or skincare brand in just minutes, where we're going to break down from A to Z exactly how to put your own design on top-selling products and start selling in just minutes. It's incredible. Now, the principles that you're going to learn are exactly the same principles that we've used with our customers who did over $2 billion. That's right, with a B, $2 billion in sales last year alone. You cannot afford not to take me up on this free training. So to get immediate 100% complimentary access, all you got to do is go to Dropified.com/podcast-special, or you can just click the link below in the show notes. I will see you soon.
So in order to take advantage of this wave, we need a tool set. We need our hammer and our screwdriver and whatever else we need. So I think this would be a really cool time and a very appropriate time to talk about the tool set that Recart offers and give some energy to your efforts. Because I mean, you could chop down a tree with like a tiny little axe, or like with a chainsaw, right? So the tool is very much it's a very big part of your ability to actually take advantage of this and actually be successful.
Yep, exactly. So a little bit about the ways that we can start leveraging this channel and how it actually works technically. I know I mentioned a little bit about the Messenger subs, but at the end of the day, I can tell you what a Messenger sub does. You have that 24-hour window to message them freely, and then in the future, you can send them a sponsored message. That's a Messenger sub, but how are we going to get that sub? That's the first step to Recart. When you download us, let's start list building as any own channel. Let's list build. So the two main avenues you can do to list build, and again, list building with Recart is just some interaction from the consumer to the brand on Messenger. That could be a variety of ways. It could technically be a customer service chat, but those are obviously less frequent. So let's try to automate this process and list build. Two of the easiest ways to do that is on-site tools, mostly pop-ups, or you got your order confirmation. Let's send in for the tracking information to Messenger. That one's less popular, but those features are available with Recart. Mostly pop-ups, I want to say, and welcome flows on-site. And then for the off-site tools, we're mostly looking at Instagram ads and Facebook ads. Those are our main off-site tools. So I could start with off-site tools. And again, we're just trying to get the consumer to interact with our Messenger bot. So to do that, we transform normal ads into click-to-messenger ads. And I know I've touched on this briefly before, but we're not trying to change a winning strategy. If you have some current awesome Facebook and social media strategies that are working really well and you're getting great engagement, that's great. We just want to add value to something that's already working for you. If you have not had much experience on the Facebook and Instagram ad, this is still also something that's great for you. Either way, this kind of just morphs and morphs to whatever experience you have on the ad side and adds this whole layer and this awesome funnel that you can take advantage of. So just to recap quickly, an Instagram ad, if you click that, it's just going to open up in the news feed, and then I can leave. We live in this ADD society. There's like 350 notifications a day on average, the average consumer gets. Pretty ridiculous considering 2009, there was a Time magazine that said, who's going to stop the phone giant? And they're talking about Nokia. So a lot of this has been relatively new, just this whole like app wave and people's attention's going down and down and down. So Instagram ads still work though. That's why the prices go up 40% year over year. Corona caused a little dip, but I see they're coming back up again. So we can add a lot of value there and capture subscribers from a click. How many times have you clicked on an ad and then just left? That just cost that company money. Let's at least drive a subscriber so we can get some, and if it's 90% open rates on that sub, we can definitely capture their attention, right? Unless they're that 1 out of 10. So a normal ad, we'll click that, it'll open up a messenger conversation. Let's just assume the ad is click for 10% off. We click that, it'll open up a messenger conversation. Welcome name, it'll capture their name. You're a few steps away from unlocking your 10% discount code. Please enter or confirm your email for the next step to get your code. Since Facebook did 2-factor authentication 2 years ago, everyone's email and phone number is tied to your Facebook account. So Recart can ask for these values in the back end. Messenger will recognize that and prompt the values at the bottom of the Messenger channel. So when I say, when the brand says, please enter or confirm your email address, your email is automatically just going to pop up at the bottom. So I just have to tap that. But that tap is a response, which is an opt-in for the Messenger side. And it's also an email. So it's an email. You got another own channel. And since it's coming from Messenger, that email is smart. I call it smart emails because you get their first name, their last name, their gender, their location, and the language that they speak, all within that one tap. And that's getting sent to things like Klaviyo automatically. We have awesome email integration. So a simple ad turning into that funnel of 2 owned channels, smart, and the email is already smart, and you're still reaching that goal of showing them the products and giving that discount. We've captured 2 owned channels along the way. And since they did that opt-in, right, you have that 24-hour period to do abandoned carts. So, in the next 24 hours, they're most likely going to get 2 more messages from you reminding them. And that goes back to the notifications thing I was saying earlier. If I'm on an ad and I was truly intent on making this purchase on Instagram, and then, my mom called me, work calls, Ben hit me up, you never know what can happen. If we can get reminded within a 24-hour period about something relevant and something that I truly maybe wasn't intent on purchasing, that could be really valuable. And that's where we see a lot of the value from Recart. The list building, the follow-ups, and then also other lead generation for your other own channels. That email value could be a phone number, by the way, very easily. So yeah, that's the offsite kind of approach, if that helps a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to make sure I'm fully understanding here, we're talking about using Facebook Messenger to capture information from potential customers in the form of gathering either email addresses or phone numbers, which are natively already in Facebook and which Facebook will suggest to the customer so that they can easily click and opt in using that information via a prompt that we give them, such as enter your information to claim your coupon code or whatever other lead magnet that we're using. And all of this can be done within Messenger using the tool, which is Recart. Recart is the tool that gives you the ability to do all these things.
Yep, exactly. And you hit the nail on the head there. But I do want to add another aspect to this. you could be salesy and let's minimize as much friction as possible. Let's just make it so they tap twice, get 2 own channels, give them the discount, redirect them, boom. But this is an opportunity to tell a story as well. We have some clients that are brilliant, and they're making these sweet 30-second video clips embedded into their ads that explain the brand. If I see an ad on Facebook, that does not give me the full picture maybe as I would if I was going on their website, clicking videos, going around the resources. There's a lot of steps for me as a consumer to fully understand a brand from the first contact. It requires a lot of time and focus on my part. But you got to think about the brand imaging also with the pricing. I'm also looking at prices. There's a lot going on. So if I can direct my consumer's thought process with a sweet video explaining the product, telling about the founders, if the picture's worth 1,000 words, how much is a video worth, right? And then you can give them the code, or you can qualify them. Let me give you a quick example. We have this client. They have a website called pjamas.com. It is pajamas that you could pee in. It's a brilliant name, honestly. It targets mostly mothers. It's for toddlers that, bedwet at night. The issue was, though, the owner was really upset because he kept getting negative reviews for the product. They do well, but there was just too many negative reviews coming in because mothers kept assuming that it replaces diapers when really it only supplements them. So we want, and even then, it's only if your child has if your child has a massive bladder, it just won't work. It's there's a little degree there. Not all toddlers are created equal. So definitely a lot of education to be had on the first touch point. So he had normal Instagram ads running. So what we did is we took his Instagram ad and it said, how much pee will pajamas really hold? Click that ad. Next thing that says, check out this 30-second, you're in Facebook Messenger now. Check out this 30-second video to show why pajamas is the best bedwetting backup available. Then this video comes on this woman explaining, what a diaper looks like with 4 ounces of pee in it, what it looks like 10 plus ounces if it's too much. So if you had 10 plus ounces, you're disqualified. She's like, don't buy the product. Based off your conclusion from the video, you select one of 3 options: 1 to 4 ounces, 5 to 9 ounces, 10 plus ounces. If I press 10 plus, it'll say, hey, this is a good product for you. Do you want to share us anyways? If I qualified myself and I'm like, oh, this is a good fit for me, press one of the other 2 options. The next video will say, hey, this is a perfect fit for you. Do you want to see how they fit? Another video on how they fit. By the way, we are environmentally friendly. We save you an average of $73 a year, 18 pounds of diapers. Here's your $5 off code. Thanks. Then we'll redirect them. So usually you're just at that one touch point, then to the redirect, but we kind of sandwich this entire educational flow with 2 videos, which also qualifies you or disqualifies you and explains some of the other benefits that the company is just doing in general. Mostly environmentally friendly. So you could, I think Messenger is just the tip of the iceberg. Some of the examples that we're spewing out here, obviously they can get a lot more creative. You can have millions of multiple choice questions. You can turn to a 20-step quiz. I mean, it's really awesome to see some of the things that are going on creatively wise. So this is also a good opportunity if you feel like you're in a creative rut and you want to get a little crazy with guiding your consumer down this brand rabbit hole of yours, if you will, lack of a better term. Great opportunity for that.
So what I believe we've moved to talking to a little bit is what to do once we actually get somebody to engage with our messenger bot or our messenger marketing tool, or whatever the right way to say that is. And we've talked a little bit about off-site marketing to get people into our messenger marketing ecosystem. To get them to become subs. Let's talk a little bit about some things we can do on site, and then let's actually dive deeper into the execution of, now that I have subs, what do I do? But let's do on site real quick.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so on-site is more or less similar to the off-site tools that I just mentioned, except it's just on your website. The difference is I'm on the website already, so I may have had the intent. I wanted to check back. Maybe I was retargeted from Google. I don't know, but either way, I am on the website already. So maybe my eye, maybe a little more open and a little less time sensitive as you are scrolling on Instagram, right? So if you're on the website, there's an opportunity to, again, create that dialogue, but also be very salesy at the same time. So one of the best welcome flows I like to highlight is this one from a brand called yoursuper.com. If you come onto their website, it'll say, get 15% off, pop up, send the offer to Messenger. You click the send the offer to Messenger, it recognizes who you are, your name, if you're logged in. If you're not logged in, there'll just be like a button that says send the offer to Messenger. And that also goes to that's another question a lot of people ask, what happens if I'm not logged in? It'll just prompt you to log in, like any of those Facebook logins on apps that sends you to log in on Facebook. Similar process there. So we go onto the website, get 15% off discount on Messenger, opens discount on Messenger. Then you get an immediate video from the founders saying they both beat cancer. And it's a superfood company. They both beat cancer and are thriving, and they have this awesome lifestyle. But apparently, a lot of it had to do with their diet. So they decided to make a brand about it and just focus on health and improving other people's lives who are maybe in, unfortunately, similar situations as them. You get all of that baked into, again, another like small 20-second video. And then they're like, here's your discount code. And you're like, okay, well, now I know all about this brand. I know who the founders are. I know this isn't a big corporation. I trust them. They just kind of like told me their deep, dark secret. And then from there, you have another option. Do you have any questions about us, our mission statement, recipes, our health blog? It's pretty awesome just to see all the different ways that you can guide your consumer if they want to learn more. Again, you could go as simple as the consumer comes in, they don't even have to press play on the video. Well, it plays automatically, but they don't have to like watch it. You don't have to watch the video. You can just get the discount code and leave. But for the more curious consumer, I mean, you can spend like 15 minutes just going and reading everything on that entire flow. So it really gives the option for both sides. I just think the main difference is on site, there's a lot more things you can add on there because the consumer is like already on your website focusing on it. Whereas offsite, we're trying to capture attention, educate, and give them a good first impression of the brand with the person that probably doesn't have as much time. So now for the execution. What do we do with these messenger subs? Yeah, we have that 24-hour window to reach out to them. But what happens after that? Are we screwed? No, you're not. Thanks for asking. You actually can capitalize on that and send them sponsored messages. So these show up as sponsored, and it shows up as if you're getting a message randomly right now from your friend or uncles or cousins, right? I'm in these crazy group chats that my family puts me in. It's funny if you just look at my messenger, it's like random family member brands, the messenger lifestyle of someone who works at Recart. It's pretty interesting. Anyways, you can send them these sponsored messages and just think of, and that's kind of what we started here. And it's funny, everything circles back, right? 90% open rate emails. You can send these at any coordinated times. If you receive a sponsored message, you are not receiving another sponsored message for 24 hours. That brand owns you for that day, owns that message for that day for you. And that sponsored message can be whatever you want it to be. It could be, hey, 25% off sale, boom, go. Or, hey, do you want to learn more about this new product we just released? Yes. Okay, here's a video. Yes. Okay, like abandoned cart. That you can break down this whole flow. It doesn't have to be just, again, something that says that's salesy. You can really just go like full salesy, storytelling, luxury brands, brands that are just like, let's just focus on volume. It's really an open, cool platform. And until that subscriber says, I don't receive messages from this business anymore, that channel is yours to own and send as many sponsored messages as you want. So.
That's amazing. So just to recap for a second, and again, just to make sure that we're on the same page here, what we've been talking about is messenger marketing. We're using Recart as a tool to enable us to do things with messenger marketing, to actually participate in the activity of messenger marketing. And what we talked about as two of the big foundational elements of this is actually building your list and then doing something with your list. When it comes to building your list, there are offsite methods. So that literally means off of your website. So something like ads, running ads on social media, like a Facebook ad campaign, or doing a YouTube video with like a call to action of, hey, join my messenger list or something like that. Anything that is off your website and then on your website is obviously on your website. So at the end of a blog post for like a content upgrade or like an exit pop or anything that is actually on the website, those are the two distinctions and two really, really big ideas, right? If you think about it, there's no limit to how creative you can get with what sort of messenger marketing tactics you use or strategies that you use on and off of your website, right? So I would challenge everybody who's listening to get creative and see how you can get more creative than everybody else in your industry. You can crush it. So we talked about building your list a little bit there. And then once you have your list, executing on taking care of your list, nurturing your list. We talked a little bit about sponsored messages, a little bit about the timing of sending sponsored messages. And a really great example you brought up was Black Friday. So if you happen to be the brand that is able to show a message to one of your subs on Black Friday, you have that real estate for that 24 hours. You own that time.
And you most likely will own it, right? I mean, this goes back to, this is a newer product. Take advantage of it. You know, definitely own the real estate this year if you can.
Perfect. So quick question. And then I want to talk about, give like our final, the easy button to push to really get started with it. But how difficult is all of this stuff to actually build? Like, does it take a rocket scientist or a PhD, or can you literally just download it and just start clicking stuff and figure it out? Like, what's the difficulty level learning curve here?
Yeah, no, definitely. It's funny because everyone kind of assumes it's the former, but really it's the latter. Once you dive in, it's sure it could be a little daunting to take on a new own channel, as with anything. You know, building your first app, taking on SMS now. You know, with Messenger, it's another own channel, and I get that daunting aspect. It's another dimension to your marketing strategy that they're introducing, and it's very easy. Just go to recart.com, hit the download button. You'll see in the back end of your account, you just have to connect your Facebook business account. So if you don't have a Facebook page, this won't be for you, but it's very easy to make a Facebook page. So as long as we like get that foundation in, that's pretty much the only thing needed to get started besides the download, obviously. And then when you go into the building blocks, it's pretty much just like drag and drop from your consumer's point of view, as if, I don't know, you're like website building on those, not Shopify, but like, you know, like Squarespace. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but you can like drag and drop things and stuff like that. It's very easy. Dragging and dropping content, adding it, you link where you want the messages to go. You see it from a bird's eye view and from the consumer's point of view. It's very easy. And if you want inspiration for some of the things I said, we have a template library. So you just go into the template library, press any of the flows. Like one of them, for example, is a Valentine's Day sponsored message. Let's say you want to coordinate mass, a campaign to everybody on Valentine's Day. Well, you don't have to think of the campaign, and you can just go to recart.com /template-library. I think that's right. But if you just go to recart.com, you'll see it there on the top bar. Just press use this flow. It automatically goes into your backend. But if you want some further help, one of the things that we're going to do for the call to action here a little bit is obviously the download, but I'd be more than happy to help anyone set up their first flow. We most likely are going to make that the welcome flow, which is some of the things I spoke about for the on-site channels. But more than happy to do that for any of the amazing listeners and watchers of this. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So how do we access it? Let's do it. How do we get this this template?
Yeah, so basically go to Recart, download it. You can email me directly if you want. It's Nick at recart.com saying, hey, you know, I heard you. I was listening to Ben, and I heard the call to action. You know, I can do it, and then I'll set up your welcome flow for you. Another thing is just messaging Recart on the chat on the bottom on recart.com. You can just say, hey, like, I'm here for my welcome flow setup. That's the easiest way to do it. Unfortunately, we don't have some kind of back end thing that can plug and play saying that you came from this, but that's probably the easiest way to get this started. If you want to just start the welcome flow yourself, again, download Recart, and at the top there is a welcome series. If you just follow the instructions there, it's pretty simple. We guide you from start to finish. You can probably set up a welcome series within 10 to 15 minutes.
Perfect. So just to provide total clarity here, it seems like the welcome flow or the welcome sequence, and please correct me if I'm wrong between flow and sequence, but it seems like the welcome flow is a really easy button that we can push to get started and to start seeing some results here. And obviously there are plenty of templates, and I was very, very generous of you to actually offer to help people set that up for them and to give out your personal email address. So thank you very much for that. But I would highly encourage everybody, if you do not already have a tool that you're using for this and you're not already using messenger marketing, to 100% take Nick up on this offer. There are very, very, very few opportunities that you're going to have to get a professional to set this up for you. So definitely take advantage of that. Like this is something that of tremendous value that's being handed to you on a silver platter that will probably not be around for too much longer. And I could easily see a situation where, Nick, you just have so many inquiries here that you literally don't have time to be able to do it.
Offer ends at midnight. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Awesome. Well, Nick, I do want to thank you so much for coming on the show, talking about messenger marketing, sharing some of the strategies and some of the tactics, and really educating us on how to sell more with messenger marketing. So if there's anything else you'd like to share, now would be the time. And thank you.
Yeah, the pleasure has been all mine, Ben. Thank you so much for inviting me. This has been great. I love doing this. It's something I'm passionate about, e-commerce in general, and Messenger. I didn't know I was passionate about until I came onto this job, and man, it is something really cool. So I'm more than happy to do this. Thank you again for inviting me, and thank everybody for listening.
Hello again, eCom Masters. Mike Weiss here again with a big thank you for sticking with us to the end of this episode. I know how valuable your time is, and I want to congratulate you for setting yourself apart from the pack by investing your attention into this podcast. Now, make sure to maximize this time by taking notes while it's still fresh, listening to the episode multiple times if you need to, and implementing what you have learned right away into your own business. Now, if you're looking for a little bit more training and want to learn the step-by-step methodology that you need to build the e-com business of your dreams, I want you to join me for an exclusive invite-only training that I'm only giving specifically for podcast listeners. Now, in it, we're going to share the secrets of what we've used to scale Dropified into the 2019 5,000 number 55 fastest growing company in America. You will not find this information anywhere else, guaranteed. To get immediate 100% free access, all you got to do is go to dropified.com/podcast-special, or just click the link below and in the show notes, and I will see you on the other side.